Maybe it could have been couched in a different way, but it needs to be said. People need to be upset and they need to be uncomfortable.
Mm.
So, Dr. Cole, I know you told your story and you overcame a lot to get to where
Yeah.
you are. I know I'm super proud of you and you dealt with a lot of generational curses, which I know that I did. I had two fathers that were on heroin, my biological father and my stepfather, among other
Mm.
things. Do you think that Mike's comments could be defined maybe as out of touch in terms of what he said? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think, one of the things that I think been lacking, Dr. Boyce and Torin, is common sense. I mean, I know enough about Mike Epps and where he comes from and, the poverty that he came from. So I know he just bought up a whole bunch of houses in Indianapolis so he could kind of put people in homes and do all that. So I don't think he was trying to shame poor people. I think he's saying, like, I don't think he's out of touch. I think we look at our big mamas or how many people we done lost to diabetes or how many people done lost their legs or whatever the case is, and a lot of things that you can buy from Snap. You probably in some type of food desert. You probably in a place where there's liquor stores around more than places where you can do healthy food. I used to try to do this campaign in Oakland, Dr. Boyce and Torrin, where in places like a Pack and Save, the lower end grocery stores, I wanted to have like signs and campaigns, like a "Don't buy this" type thing, so we could be healthier. But that's the thing: food is more expensive, processed food is cheaper, and that's usually what you can buy. Me, I grew up on welfare. I grew up on food stamps. You know what I'm saying? So I look at that a little differently. I don't think he was like getting on people about that, but we didn't eat. I didn't get a lot of great eating habits from it. We survived, so I would never want to take that from anybody. But we should be asking questions. What is the type of food that we allow to be in poorer neighborhoods? That's not allowed in those richer neighborhoods. You don't get to have that mess. That's not even really technically food, and we got to start having different conversations about it.
Okay. So, Tori, my thought on that is okay. So we kind of know what Mike was trying to say. It sounded like he was doing something that's almost vilified amongst some people in our community, which is he seemed to want us to do better. It seems like he's saying, look, most of us, in fact, anybody who's listening, give me a yes if you've had somebody in your family die from something that was preventable. When I call those black diseases, is heart disease, strokes, diabetes, all this stuff. Doesn't mean that other people don't get it, but my mama who just died, I saw her spend her whole life eating processed food, and I saw what it did to her. Um, so do you think that we have just kind of politically like this faction that's always going to get upset when somebody says, "Hey, black people, you actually have some ability to control this. You can make decisions that are going to determine the trajectory of your community, and not
Mm.
just let bad things happen and feel sorry for yourself." That's what I was gonna. I didn't really once I thought about what he was saying or why he was saying it. I didn't really have such a big issue with this conversation. I like the fact that he opened up the conversation. What do you think, Terrain?
No, I think you're exactly right. And I think Mike Epps was right. And look, I understand where that mentality comes from because there's no denying that as black people in America, everything we have done, for better, for worse, good or bad, like every other culture in this community in this nation, has always been vilified. Everything that black people do, whether it's the way you dress, the way you speak, the way you talk, the way we behave with each other, that's always been seen as something that's detrimental to the public and it's something that's evil and low down and just low class. So I understand why people almost have a knee-jerk reaction to somebody saying that we need to stop what we're doing on this thing right here and do something else. So I get that.